The Rebbe's asked a question. In the book Magalot Shana it's written that the soul of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai was an aspect of Or Makif, surrounding light. What's the intention? The Rebbe answers that the intention is that the main aspect of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's soul is a light that's very, very great. And this light has a special property. Inner light is a smaller light from one perspective, but it's more focused. Or pnimi, inner light is more focused within the vessels. But surrounding light, or makif, from one perspective it's very, very big. It's a great light. For example, in drawing number 4, it's like we have 10% of the light and 90% of the light. But this light is not focused. It's shining as if from a distance. It's not focused. This light has a very great quality. The inner light, the Or Pnimi, can only shine to vessels that are rectified and according to the rectification. It's very exacting. As much as you're fixed, you're able to receive. But the Or Makif, the surrounding light, is not found within the vessels. It's too big to be within the vessels. So it's outside. So in one sense, it's outside. But on the other side, it has a great advantage in that it's not focused. Because it shines from a distance everywhere. So here it's not in like a very exacting way, but it's shining to everyone. So this is the point of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai's soul being from the aspect of the Or Makif, the surrounding light. It means that the revelation of the Zohar HaKadosh is meant to shine to everybody. Of course, the more that a person is more and more rectified, they'll be able to experience more and more within the Zohar. If a person's not fixed, they get a sort of illumination. To have a feeling of a burning in the heart of fire from the exaltedness that's shining from the Zohar Kadosh. That's a light that's given to everybody, the surrounding light. Therefore it's said in Chassidut that Rabbi Shimon is for everybody, and this we actually see on Lag BaOmer. Everybody goes up to Meron. All types of population, all types of people, all different types of religious people, people with rastas, all types of people. Looks like a carnival in Rio. Rabbi Shimon's for everyone. So this year everybody wanted to go, but it's not possible. God decided for us differently. The Rebbe's asked another question. If the light that's surrounding the Partzuf of Ab is 100% of the light of Ein Sof, the Rebbe answers no. The Rebbe says only that what's surrounding Galgalta is 100% of Ein Sof. But what's surrounding Ab is already the 100% of Ab. Because all of the light of Ab is the light of Chaya. So Ab is only able to receive 10%. So 100% of the light of Chaya is the surrounding light of Ab. And the inner light, 10%. The Rebbe's asked if the surrounding light is connected to the Sefirot. The Rebbe says yes, it shines to them from a distance. The The Rebbe's asked, in this generation, we're given a very great light and very small vessels. How can we stand in this light of redemption that's so great? The Rebbe answers, since the states are descending, and the situation that we're in today are things that our ancestors didn't have. Meaning, we'll go 30 years back. There weren't smartphones. I remember when I was born in Bnei Brak, they didn't have phones, anybody, let alone smartphones. They didn't have phones. Maybe some people in the city, the rich people. There weren't cars, phones, there were horses. So everything's changed. In the past years, everything's turned to something completely different. Today we're in control of the world through the smartphones. Can buy and sell, know what the weather is, send and receive. So everything's completely different. So because of this, we need a very, very big light in order to keep our focus on God and on loving others, on the main principles that if we won't have them in the world, won't remain of the world anything. The Rebbe's asked, a student who receives from their Rav, is the intention that if they would ask the Rav, the student would know what the Rav answered without actually hearing the Rav? And the Rebbe says yes. A true student is so close to the Rav, attached to the Rav. What does it mean attached? To have the same characteristics. So the student would know what the Rav would say. There's no limitation in spirituality. How is that expressed in the surrounding light? We'll learn about this as we go on. That the surrounding light illuminates from afar, but it causes a process in which the vessels prepare themselves more and more to be able to receive more and more inner light. We'll learn this as we go on. The Rebbe's asked if the surrounding light can illuminate on a person who's not in the way but is listening to a lesson. Can the surrounding light arouse a person to make action? The Rebbe says yes. Even a person who is far from the way of the Baal HaSulam, if they're hearing a lesson, it could be that the words that the person hears can cause a flame within a person of fire, meaning that the divine soul that's in every single person can be awakened. Can be awakened all different ways. But if a person's not found inside, so then all the things that are awakening are in the framework of surrounding light. The Rebbe's asked if lo lishma yavo lishma, meaning doing things not yet for the right reasons in order to come to the right reasons, is also considered or makif, surrounding light. The Rebbe says yes. The not doing for the right reasons illuminates a particular light that can push a person towards doing for the right reasons, as is explained in detail in the introduction to the Zohar. The Rebbe asks if the surrounding light is only for each particular person individually, or is there a concept of a general surrounding light for all of Israel? The Rebbe answers that there's an individual surrounding light and also a collective surrounding light. Our role is a particular role for each man and each woman, to fix ourselves through our learning, to internalize it and to put into action, and also to make effort to shine from this light to others. Someone whose surrounding light shines to somebody's divine soul, it awakens, can awaken and become connected. The Rebbe's asked, why is it called guf, body, when it's fixed to be in the state of giving? Meaning the guf of Adam Kadmon, the body of Adam Kadmon, the body of Partzuf Ab. Why are they called guf or body? Because we've learned until now that guf, that body, is desire to receive. And now we're saying this body is receiving in order to give. So why is it called body? The Rebbe answers that body, guf, is the desire to receive when it's actually receiving. But there's also a body of holiness, and that's what's being described here, which is the light of holiness. So there's a body of holiness and a body of not holiness. The body of holiness is receiving in order to be pleasing to God, and the body of impurity is receiving only for itself. More questions? The Rebbe's asked, what's the role of the surrounding light in our world? The Rebbe answers that it's to push us towards doing inner work. That's the purpose. This means a person's learning, like we're learning now. It's shining. It gives a particular pleasure. It gives particular desires. This upliftingness that we've experienced is giving us yearnings of wanting to be better, of wanting to do spiritual work, to understand what's important in this world, and wanting to connect to what's important. All of this is called surrounding light. Sometimes a person hears a song. The song touches them in their heart. This is also called Or Makif, surrounding light. Surrounding light shines in different ways. Its role is for us to progress. The Rebbe's asked, if we look at the generations before us, it could depress us when we see how great they were and look at where we are now. So what's the advantage? The Rebbe's asked, what do we do?
Be happy. Don't worry.
The Rebbe says, don't worry, be happy. That's what we do. Take a flute or something. Begin to play. Take a little gat plant that the Yemenites chew. Don't worry, be happy. Dance a little. The Rebbe's asked about what's written, that the light brings us back to our purpose. Which light is this? Is this inner light or surrounding light? The Rebbe says surrounding light. Because only after we return to our purpose and we fix ourselves, then we receive inner light. The Rebbe's asked that the surrounding light shines to the Sefirot, that it's giving them light, and the Rebbe answers no. The inner light is giving them light. The surrounding light is just something additional from outside. But we'll learn about this as we go on. The Rebbe's asked if that God's glory fills all the world is surrounding light. The Rebbe says yes. The Rebbe's asked if the Torah is the aspect of Or Makif. The Rebbe says that sometimes we receive the Torah as an aspect of inner light, and sometimes as surrounding light. Depends how we're clothing the light. The Rebbe's asked if within the spiritual level of a partsuf, the level of the body until the navel is holiness, and from the navel and below is unholiness. The Rebbe says it's a good question. Excellent question. The Rebbe answers that everything's holy. And under the navel is also complete holiness. The system of impurity, of not holiness, is trying to receive pleasure and enjoyment for one's own self-benefit. But it's not made on at any end. So they are receiving. That's called tumah, impurity. But if a person sees it, they want to receive for their own self-benefit. And it says, and if so, then I'm not going to receive. So that's called holiness. Therefore, the whole partsuf is holy. All the partsufim that we've learned about. Yesterday, 5 partsufim. Each realm, it's complete holiness. Also the head, also the middle, and also the end. Therefore, even below the tabor is shining a small illumination of divine light. It's a very good question that explains the matter in an exacting way. The Rebbe's asked if we can shine this light out in the world, also to giving the lessons of the Rebbe to people that aren't religious, for people who are against the spiritual practices of the Torah. The Rebbe says yes. The Baal HaSulam writes in clear words, and I think reality proves these things. He writes, first of all, that we need to bring out the learning of the Kabbalah, the inner aspect of the Torah, to the masses, in all the different parts of Israel. And he writes like this, that through this, even the criminals of Israel will return in repentance. This is what the prophet writes, that through this, even the criminals will return. We very much hope that even the criminal that's within every one of us will return. And also those outside. This is what the Baal HaSulam writes. In my understanding, this is the strongest way to change the face of society in Israel. Also the ultra-Orthodox community, the Haredi community, needs to change. And also the Dati Leumi, the nationalistic religious community, and also the non-religious community. All of the society needs to change. And therefore, since we've been privileged to receive such divine light that is so sweet, we need not only to be concerned about returning our inner aspect to God, but also others. And I'll tell you more than this. It's written that the glory of the king is in the multitudes of the nation. The more that more people are entering into the way of spiritual work, it'll be easier for the individual person. Because the moment that certain things become societal norms, the individual person, because God created us with societal conditionings, the individual person will enter into the spiritual work easier. Imagine If we needed to go out in public with a mask, but we were the only person wearing a mask, it would be depressing. But now that everybody's going with the mask, so it's easier. The Rebbe's asked, from who did the Baal HaSulam receive his Torah? The Rebbe says he's not speaking about the revealed aspects of Torah. At the age of 18, he received already Rabbanut from the big rabbis of Warsaw. Smicha of Rabbanut means that he was an expert backwards and forwards in all of the Gemara and the Shulchan Aruch. But Rebbe says, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about the inner aspects. He learned from the Admor of Kalushin and Borisov and Rebbe Yisachar Dov of Belz. These were his spiritual guides. These were people that were very great. So much so that the Baal HaSulam said that the soul of Rebbe Yisachar Dov of Belz is a soul from the realm of Atzilut. Not simple. Not Asya, not Yitzira, not Bria, but the realm of Atzilut. In addition to this, the Baal HaSulam wrote in a letter that revealed to him a hidden person that everybody in Warsaw thought he was a merchant, but that he was somebody who attained divine experience. It was completely hidden. Who brought the Baal HaSulam into the visions of heaven? Other questions? The Rebbe's asked, if we listen to the Zohar without understanding, does it also do something? The Rebbe says yes, and it illuminates with or makif, with surrounding light. But it's preferable that there is understanding. The more that there's more understanding, then our body is more and more activated and moved. The rabbis asked what it means that we're meant to be a light to the nations. The Rebbe says in an inner way we need to be a light to the aspect of the nations that are within ourselves. In an outer way, we're meant to be a model of society that runs according to the main principles of the Kabbalah, and through this to be a model to all the nations of the world, how to create a society that's rectified. But in the meantime, we need to make a lot of effort to build the society between ourselves, between the men and women that are learning this wondrous Torah and are prepared to make change within themselves. The Rebbe asked if at the end of the Partzuf it's shining the light of Chasadim. The Rebbe says yes. The Rebbe asked if a person can do spiritual work to such a high level that Or Makif, surrounding light, will shine to everybody, to all Israel. The Rebbe says yes. People on very high levels can draw forth light to all Israel, like the light of the Baal HaSulam, for example. We see people that are great, that are shining to complete populations, like the Baal Shem Tov, like Rav Kook, and so on. So we're going to end here for now. There's one more question. The Rebbe asked if learning only Zohar can bring a person to their rectification. Can it be without learning the Peticha and the Talmud Eser HaSefirot, or does it need to be integrated with the other aspects of the learning? The Rebbe says it's preferable both types of the learning. Not everybody's able to do this. In the high schools, there's a major of humanities and a major of sciences. So the Peticha and the Talmud Eser HaSefirot and the Torah of the Ari Kadosh, this is more like the science major. The Zohar and the Mamarim is more like the humanities. So of course the best is to integrate them. So it gives a great completeness to a person. But I've met a lot of people that they don't have not built for the sciences. They don't connect to it. They have only the humanities. And you can get very far and very high with just this. But the best is to integrate them.